Welcome to round one of this video series. We're playing red-white tokens. The hand is keepable. We have a couple of pieces of removal. We have a threat that's likely to be a choo-choo, and then we can make it into a 4-4. Plus, if we draw something else, like another way to make tokens, we're in a really good spot, and we're on the draw, so... Sand is reasonable. It's not fantastic, but it's definitely keepable. Going to lead with the plains here. The reason is if I find... Well, first of all, it kind of disguises our deck a little better. But also if I find an Evolving Wilds, and my opponent played something I wanted to chain to the rocks, I could do that, but again, no. They just played a Caryatid, which is fine. I'll run out the mountain to ensure that I have the proper mana for, or the proper land base for chain to the rocks. Wayfinder is not worth interacting with right now. Hits Llanowar Wastes and Temple of Silence. So our opponent takes the Llanowar Wastes. Looks like pretty straightforward Sultai Whip. I'm just going to go ahead and run out the Eidolon there. We've drawn 3 lands in a row, so it's looking like a bit of a rough situation here, but if we draw a few spells, we can definitely get back in the game, unless this is like no Hornet Queen until next turn, which is good. Yeah, no blocks. We can take the 1 point. Sidisi whiffs. Not Sidisi whip. Sidisi whiff. Oh wow. Okay, so we can apply a lot of damage this turn with Hordeling Outburst and then chain to the rocks on the Sidisi, which is what I'm going to do. I would have preferred to Lightning Strike it so that we can chain something else if we need to, but we're going to want to play Dictate next turn. So it's definitely worth using our mana efficiently, getting Sidisi off the table, and casting Chained right now. Also pumps the Eidolon. Because we drew the Hordeling Outburst, that was like the perfect draw. Rabblemaster would have been good too, but Outburst is great. Gross. Okay, so we were at a really good place, but that Hornet Queen makes some trouble for us. I don't think I'm going to be slamming the Dictate. Might as well cast the Dictate. What we're doing now is trying to find removal for the Hornet Queen and set up kind of a big turn where we can attack through pretty much anything. Oh man. Well, we respond with Dictate, which is actually good. Saves our guys. Opponent declines to attack. Raise the Alarm is a very good draw. I'm going to go ahead and get... don't think it really matters at this point, but I'll go ahead and get... Go ahead and get a Plains. And then I'm going to Lightning Strike and Raise the Alarm this turn. So that next turn I can Dictate and get in for a ridiculous amount of damage. And we're likely striking one of the insects. We're definitely striking one of the insects now. Because otherwise... Yeah. Otherwise our opponent can whip back the actual queen and cause a lot of problems for us. So we're going to kill off an insect, cast Raise the Alarm, hope we draw Chain to the Rocks. Stoke the Flames is good, but I don't think that it's good enough. Wow, opponent has a Hornet Queen in the graveyard. So I probably have to attack now. I don't think I'm winning this, but we gotta go all in. Yeah, that doesn't really work for us. Pretty sure we just lose. We just end up with 3 tokens and... Yeah, opponent actually gained life off of that attack. Then they get to whip back the Hornet Queen. If for some reason they forget to whip back the Hornet Queen, then we can be okay, but they're just doing it now. Yep, alright, I can scoop now. We don't have any way to really get through that. Too much value. Okay, Erase is pretty good. Suspension Field is good. Ash Cloud Phoenix may or may not be good. Lightning Strike literally only hits the DC, so we're going to cut those. And I like everything else, but I think we cut Raise the Alarm because it's the least impactful of our remaining spells. These, I know you're cost sorting, but these are 4s. Magic Online doesn't realize that, but these are 4 drops. Seems reasonable. I don't really want to cut anything else. I like the configuration we have. If we had seen a Hushwing Gryff at any point that game, we would have been a heavy favorite to win. I would like to play first. This hand is actually quite good. I may definitely have to draw 1 or 2 lands, but even if I draw 1 land, we're good with Eidolon plus token production spells. And if I draw 2 lands, we're really good, because we can cast pretty much everything in the deck except the dictates. Like, we can even bestow the Eidolon. Okay. That's a good start. We just need a land. This might have been a mistake to keep, actually, because we don't have a mountain for Chain to the Rocks. I was like, we have 2 castables, and then if we draw land, we have 3 plus whatever we draw, but we don't have the mountain for Chain to the Rocks, which could be a problem. Probably a mistake on my part to keep then. So my bad, and if we end up just getting horribly mana screwed, opponent grabs the Evolving Wilds. If we end up getting horribly mana screwed, I apologize. Yeah, it looks like that's happening. It's okay though. The nice thing about these whip decks is that we have time to draw out of like a mana screw, because they're just not very fast, so they don't punish us for stumbling as much. I can either cast the Eidolon or fetch and then be able to cast Hordeling Outburst next turn. I think I want to cast the Eidolon now. It's walking into a Doomwake Giant. But Hordeling Outburst into Eidolon walks into a Doomwake Giant anyways, so we'll just cast this. Like, Giant is gonna do some damage to our board no matter what. And I just kind of want to make them have it. Sidisi is much more manageable. They do have a Hornet Queen in the graveyard, but we have an Erase for a whip, so... That's not a bad one. I think I have to chain Sidisi to the Rocks. Don't think I can let my opponent really attack with Sidisi and generate a ridiculous amount of value. Plus, it brings my Eidolon out of Doomwake Giant range. Although, if my opponent had a Doomwake Giant, they would have played it last turn. Sure. Whip. Okay. I don't know why they didn't play that before combat. To gain some life, but it's getting exiled. That was a very reasonable draw. Jeez. Lets us Hordeling Outburst, attack with Eidolon, and then have Stoke the Flames up. I'm not going to worry about getting Seeker down because Hordeling Outburst seems a lot more impactful in this situation. So like I said, the whip decks give us a lot of chances to draw out of our Mana Screw. Although land into Hornet Queen would be a problem. No blocks. 2 of my 1/1s are more valuable than one of my opponent's 2/2s. Oh, that's bad. That kills everything, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't want to Stoke in response. Jeez. Okay, well they don't have... They either don't have a Hornet Queen or they were waiting to cast Hornet Queen. Oh my god. Okay, whip is a problem. We didn't draw an answer to it, so we are faced with the problem of having to fight through a Hornet Queen again. I think we're well set up for this matchup, but our opponent finding whip into Hornet Queen both games, eventually, I guess, for the second game. Like, our opponent finding multiple whips the second game, and then us just never seeing a Hushwing Gryff made it problematic. Targeting Doomwake Giant. Okay, so we can still draw. That's fine. We can still draw our other Erase. And we can still draw a Hushwing Gryff. And we draw neither. Which is very unfortunate, because it means that we're going to lose to Hornet Queen and friends. But I guess we can gain some life and kill a Caryatid first. Or Bile happens. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. So, Whip of Erebos decks are as powerful as ever, and if you don't draw all the right ways to interact with them, you lose. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next match.